So tonight, we're diving into the real life of prehistoric people, and no, I don't mean the cartoon version with clubs and growling, but the actual day-to-day grind of folks living 25,000 years ago. Oh, and if you're into these stories, please hit that like or subscribe. I'm genuinely curious where you all are tuning in from. So drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm always amazed how people worldwide just conk out to this stuff. All right, get cozy, take a deep breath, and let your body sink into whatever you're lying on. We're heading back to the old Stone Age, and trust me, you'll be seriously grateful for that mattress when we're done. So congrats, you just woke up in a cave 25,000 years ago. The first thing you notice, the cold, not just a little chill, but the kind that makes your teeth chatter and muscles freeze up. You're lying on what feels like the world's worst camping mattress. Some poor soul carefully piled together clumps of reeds and grass as a sleeping mat. And it's itchy, like seriously itchy. These stalks poke right through any animal hide you're wearing. Every time you shift, it rustles and crackles like nature's most annoying cereal box. Your nose is hit with a pungent cocktail. Sure, there's wood smoke, but also damp mildew and earth from the cave walls. Leftover cooked meat smells from last night's dinner mix with the intense funk of unbathed humans. There's a faint animal fat scent used for waterproofing and warmth, plus fresh, grassy notes from the meadow outside. You can hear breathing inside the cave, if that makes sense. Drips of water echo from some deep, dark corner. Soft snores from about 20 other people scattered on their grass mats around you. Someone's baby makes tiny sleepy noises. Outside the cave entrance, birds chirp to greet the new day. Maybe some rustling from animals sneaking through bushes. Your body aches, and I mean really aches. Yesterday was a marathon of walking, hunting, and gathering, and every muscle knows it. Your legs are tough as leather now, but still sore from climbing over rocks. Your back has that signature stiffness from sleeping on the ground your whole life. Good news, you're still alive. Bad news, pretty much everything else is a mess. Actually, let me back up and set this scene straight. You're not some clumsy brute dragging around animal skins. You've got mad skills, like scary good skills. You know hundreds of plants by name and use. You can track animals from the tiniest clues, a bent blade of grass, a scratch on a rock. You can start fire from scratch, make stone tools sharper than modern steel, and predict the weather by watching birds fly. But here's the kicker, you need all those skills just to not die. You shift on the grass, trying to find a position that doesn't stab your ribs. Well, at least the animal skin you're wrapped in, maybe deer or elk, is pretty toasty when you lie down. These hides have been carefully prepared, scraped, and softened until they're pliable. Yeah, soft. Everything's relative when you live in the Stone Age. As your eyes adjust to the dim light coming through the cave entrance, you start to make out shapes all around you. Your family group is spread out across this main room. Your partner and kids close by, parents, siblings, and cousins clustered around the central fire pit. 23 people total, a pretty typical number for a group like this. The fire, oh man, the fire. It's the most important thing in your entire world, and right now, it's just a pile of glowing embers and ashes. Someone, probably the last night shift, kept it alive through the night, feeding it carefully selected wood. The embers glow red and orange in the cave's darkness, casting dancing shadows on the stone walls. Me, your family group is scattered all over this main room. Your partner and kids are nearby. The parents, siblings, and cousins cluster in family groups around the central fire pit. There are 23 of you in total, pretty standard. For a group like this, the fire, oh boy, the fire. It's the most important thing in your entire world. And right now, it's just a pile of glowing embers and ashes. Someone, maybe the last shift keeper, kept it alive through the night, feeding it carefully chosen pieces of wood. The embers glow red and orange in the cave's darkness, casting flickering shadows on the stone walls. Lighting the fire every morning isn't like flipping a light switch. Starting a fire from scratch isn't actually that hard if you know what you're doing, so your people never let it die out completely. There's always someone responsible for keeping the embers glowing, adding just enough fuel to keep the heat going without wasting precious wood. You can smell the distinct scent of the wood they've burned, mostly oak and ash mixed with a bit of birch. Each wood burns differently, and your people know which kind is for cooking, which for warming up, and which for lighting the place. Oak burns long and steady. Birch catches fire easily and smells sweet. Pine is great for starting fires, but smokes like crazy when you cook. Time to wake up. You push yourself upright on the grass mat, and every joint protests loudly. Your hips pop, your neck cracks. Welcome to life before chiropractors. Around you, others start moving too. Someone yawns, a big one, like it's echoing inside your mouth. Another stretches with a groan that bounces softly off the cave walls. Morning routine always starts the same fire first. Everything else depends on the fire. You stand carefully and feel the cave floor's chilly touch on your bare soul. These caves keep a pretty steady temp all year round. Warmer than outside in winter, cooler in summer, but still, stone is stone. Your feet have thick calluses, but the cold still creeps through. Walking toward the fire, you pass your crew waking up too. Carla, the best tracker, has sat up and is checking the stone tools she left by her sleeping spot. Brune, basically the leader, is inspecting the glowing embers and deciding which wood to toss on next. The fire pit's carefully dug in a hollow on the cave floor, lined with stones to hold heat and reflect it back. Around it, the ground's worn smooth from generations of folks sitting and working right here. You can see stains from countless meals, scorch marks from embers, smooth patches where stone tools have rested for thousands of hours. Brune nods as you approach. He's already picked out some dry twigs, birch bark, and small sticks that catch fire easily from the embers. You help him stack the wood carefully, building it from the tiniest pieces to create the airflow the fire needs. Together you blow gently on the embers, coaxing them back to life. Red light flares up and little flames begin licking the birch bark. The smell of smoke thickens, mingling with the hot stone and ash. Flames burst higher, and suddenly you've got a real fire. The fire dances, crackles, and magically chases away the dark while warming your hands. Fire is life. Fire is protection. Fire is what makes us human, not just animals. Around the growing fire, more. People gather. Kids who were half asleep minutes ago are suddenly alert and focused. Fire means warmth, but it also means food, and everyone's stomach is reminding them they haven't eaten since last night. Good news about being a hunter-gatherer: no mortgages, no taxes, no angry boss critiquing your quarterly review. Bad news is every day starts with the question, what are we eating, and how do we get it? Yesterday was a decent day. The hunters bagged a deer, not huge, but enough for everyone to eat with some leftovers for today. The gatherers came back with pockets full of nuts, roots, and berries. But that was yesterday. Today, you're starting from zero. You begin this familiar rhythm of morning prep. Someone fetches water from the stream running through your cave. Clear, cold water, stored in containers made from animal bladders and carved wood. Another starts prepping some leftover meat from yesterday for a quick breakfast. Meat skewered on a stick, warmed over the fire until hot but not really cooked. It's basically reheating leftovers. But warm food on a cold morning feels like a miracle. The smell of hot meat mingling with wood smoke makes your stomach rumble drumbeats of excitement while you eat your warm meat and some nuts from yesterday's feast. The familiar rhythm of morning prep. Someone fetches water from the stream running through your cave. The clear, cold water is stored in containers made from animal bladders and carved wood. Another person starts prepping some leftover meat from yesterday for a quick breakfast. The meat is skewered on pointed sticks and warmed over the fire until hot, but not really cooked. It's basically reheating leftovers. But warm food on a cold morning feels like magic. The smell of hot meat mixed with wood smoke makes your stomach drum up an eager beat while you munch on warm meat and some nuts from last night's feast. The day's planning kicks off. This meeting isn't like a modern business meeting with agendas and PowerPoints. It's more like a casual chat by the fire, except the topic is life or death. The hunting party, maybe 6 or 7 people, will head east today, tracking the deer spotted yesterday. Deer are creatures of habit, and if you know their routines, you can ambush them at watering holes or feeding spots. But big game hunting, with sharp stone spears and wooden sticks, dangerous and tough work. Most hunts end empty-handed. The group scatters through the forest, looking for anything edible: nuts, berries, roots, tubers, mushrooms, bird eggs, bugs, medicinal plants. Actually, gathering is more reliable than hunting. You almost always find something, but it demands insane knowledge about nature. You gotta know which fruits are safe and which are deadly, which roots you can eat and which will knock you out sick, which mushrooms are food, and which are poison, when and where to find bird eggs, how to turn bitter seeds into food, where to find the best stones for tools. Your people memorize all this, hundreds of bits of info passed down through generations by trial, error, and careful watching. No books, no Google, no manuals, just human memory and real-life experience. As the morning fire burns brighter and the cave starts warming up, everyone begins their daily ritual of checking and maintaining tools. Stone tools get dull with use and need regular upkeep. Wooden spears break easily and require fixing. Clothes made from some animal hides need patching. You inspect your gear, your handmade stone knife, your wooden digging stick, your leather pouch for fire-starting materials. The knife has a few tiny chips from yesterday's work. Nothing serious, but could get worse. Nap time. Shaping stone tools is both an art and a science. You need to understand how different stones break, how to strike them at the right angle, with just the right force to chip off flakes and create a sharp edge. This is super precise work, requiring years of practice. You settle into a comfy spot with your stone hammer and start carefully, resharpening your knife. Every hit counts. Too hard and you ruin the tool. Too soft and nothing happens. Hit the wrong angle and you wreck hours of work. The sound of stone on stone echoes through the cave as everyone crafts their own tools. It's a soothing, familiar noise, the soundtrack of the old Stone Age life. Chip, chip, chip. The rhythmic tapping of survival. Your knife is now ridiculously sharp. Its blade, sharper than most modern kitchen knives. Sharp enough to easily slice through hide, meat, and plants. You test it carefully on a piece of hide, and it cuts cleanly. Good. This tool could save your life today. Around you, the cave is coming fully alive. Older kids help with basic chores, making fire, arranging sleeping areas, checking water containers. Little ones stick close to their moms but learn by watching. No formal schooling here, just constant observation and gradually joining. Adult activities. Really tiny kids, babies, and toddlers are kept warm and safe near the fire while their moms prep for the day. A baby fusses, nursing while moms multitasks, checking her gathering gear. Multitasking invented about 2.5 million years ago. You hear the sounds around you. You shift to a comfier spot as the cave warms pleasantly. The sounds, smells, and textures of this morning routine strangely soothe you despite the harsh reality. This is your world. This is your family. This is home. As the sun climbs higher outside the cave, shining more light at the entrance, the pace picks up. People start moving toward the cave mouth, ready to kick off a day of hunting for food, materials, and all the stuff needed to survive. But before heading out, there's still one important morning task: checking the weather and the outside world. Brune, along with 2 other seasoned hunters, heads out to the cave entrance to study the day. They look up at the sky, feel the breeze, listen to the sounds of birds and animals. Forecasting weather without meteorologists or Doppler radar means reading dozens of subtle environmental clues. Cloud formations tell stories of upcoming storms. Wind direction hints where the rain might hit. Bird and animal behavior gives clues about changing air pressure. The color of the dawn sky, the feel of the air, scents wafting on the breeze, all crucial when your survival depends on being outside. No matter what nature throws at you, today looks promising: a clear blue sky, light breeze, and you can hear birds chirping in the forest. No signs of bad weather. Good conditions for hunting and gathering. Time to face the world. You gather your tools and gear: stone knives, wooden digging sticks, leather pouches, a fire-starting piece wrapped in bark. Everything you own fits neatly in your hand or hangs from a simple twisted plant fiber belt. The group gathers near the cave entrance. Today there are 8 of you, including yourself, all geared up with what you need to find and gather food. You're wearing your everyday outfit: leather leggings and a carefully treated deerskin tunic, soft leather boots stuffed with grass for warmth, and a thicker leather cloak you can wrap around yourself if it gets cold. Your clothes fit snugly and move with your body. These aren't random animal skins tossed over your shoulders. They are carefully sewn outfits using sinew thread and bone needles. The leather is treated with animal fat to repel water, and seams are reinforced where stress is highest. Everything in your outfit serves a purpose. No pockets. You don't need them when you only have a few tools. No zippers or buttons. Everything was tied up tight with leather cords or simple knots made from bone or antler. Obviously no synthetics here, and forget cotton or wool. Just leather, animal fur, and plant fibers, all hand processed with techniques passed down through countless generations. Standing at your cave's mouth and staring out at the endless forest stretching every which way, you feel that familiar cocktail of hope and anxiety that kicks off each day. Out there, everything you need to survive: food, materials, resources, but also everything that can kill you: big predators, venomous snakes, poisonous plants, raging rivers, cliffs, surprise storms, and rival groups who might not be your new best friends. Lost, injured, and no rescue team in sight. There are 1,000 ways to die, and only your knowledge, skills, and crew cooperation can keep you breathing. You take a deep breath of the morning air. It smells like forest fresh, alive, and complicated: damp earth, rotting leaves, growing trees, and the funky scent of critters that just passed by. Air so clean and pure, untouched by industry or any of the crap modern humans breathe every day. Not polluted by factories or any of the nasty stuff modern folks inhale daily. Sunlight warms your face as you step out of the cave. Real sunlight, not filtered through windows or bouncing off buildings. Direct solar rays heat your skin and give you the light you need to get stuff done. No electricity, no artificial lights, just sun, moon, stars, and fire. Your feet find the familiar path, leading down from your cave to the forest floor. This path is well worn by generations of your people who've made this journey every day for hundreds of years. Your ancestors took this same path, and If you're lucky and skilled, your descendants will too. You shift your bag to a comfier spot and adjust your digging stick's handle. Morning's early, and you've got a long day ahead. Time to see what the forest got for you today. Behind you, the hunters are finishing up last-minute prep, checking spear tips, hashing out strategy, sharing the precious few arrows tipped with the sharpest stone points. Your group can make a heads. The crew moves silently through the woods in practiced stealth, those eyes and ears on high alert, hunting for anything useful. Here it is. This is your life. This is what being human really means. Your muscles start to relax as you settle into the familiar rhythm of walking your territory, and with each step, a new day's adventure in the old Stone Age world unfolds around you. The forest closes in like a living creature. Every step takes you deeper into a place both beautiful and terrifying, where every shadow might hide food or danger, sometimes both at once. You're moving through what will one day be called a primeval forest, but for now, it's just the world. Trees that grew for centuries tower high, forming a canopy thick enough to break morning light into patches and beams. Oaks, ashes, and coastal trees, whose massive trunks take 6 people holding hands to circle. The understory is dense with smaller trees and shrubs, and the ground is carpeted with layers of crunchy, decomposing leaves that crackle underfoot. The sound is amazing. Birds everywhere, not just a few species you'd hear in a modern park, but dozens of different calls echoing through the canopy, rustling of small animals moving through the bushes, the snap of a branch falling somewhere deep in the forest, wind blowing through leaves in waves that you can actually hear coming closer and then passing overhead. Your group will spread out as you walk. Everyone takes their own path, but stays tuned in to the others. You never go anywhere alone. Never. Being alone in this world is basically a death sentence. Predators only hunt loners. Accidents still happen. Walking, everyone takes their own path, but somehow still keeps an eye on each other. You never go anywhere alone. Never. Being alone in this world is basically a death sentence. Predators only go after the lone wolves. Accidents still happen. Getting lost means dying, and dying means your family goes hungry. Kessa, probably the best plant identifier in the group, softly calls out from about 20 feet to your left. She's found something. You lean toward her voice, slipping through thick hazel bushes, snagging your leather clothes and scratching your bare skin. She's kneeling next to a cluster of wide, heart-shaped leaves and tiny white flowers. Wild garlic, she says, sounding pretty pleased with herself. A fantastic find, not just food, but medicine too. Wild garlic fights infections and jazzes up bland meals. You help her carefully dig up some bulbs with your wooden digging stick. These tools are simple but effective. Long, hard sticks about the length of your arm, sharpened and hardened by fire, perfect for digging roots and bulbs without squashing them. The bulbs grow easily in soft forest soil. They're tiny, thumb-sized, with papery white skins and a strong garlic punch. Kessa cleans one up, bites in, and chews thoughtfully. Good, she says. Strong. These will keep well. You wrap the bulbs in soft leather and stash them in your pouch. So far, so good. The day's shaping up nicely. Your crew pushes deeper into the forest, following animal trails and paths your people have used for generations. Every few hundred feet, someone finds something worth gathering. Hazelnuts, berries just starting to ripen, wild mushrooms sprouting on rotting logs, but only experienced foragers know which ones are safe. The knowledge needed is huge. You've got to know hundreds of plants, their seasons, habitats, how to prepare and store them. Some plants are only edible at certain times of the year. Some need complicated prep to ditch toxins. Some look almost identical to poisonous ones, but with tiny differences that mean the difference between a tasty meal and a horrible death. Take mushrooms. For example, there are dozens of edible varieties in the forest, but also some that'll kill you in really unpleasant ways. The difference between food and poison might be the spore color, how the stem breaks, or the smell when crushed. Get it wrong, and you die. Get it right, and you get a delicious, nutritious meal. Your people have been learning these distinctions for thousands of years, passing down the knowledge through teaching and careful observation. Nobody forages alone until they've spent years learning from the pros. Even now, with plenty of experience, you still check with others if something seems off. The sun climbs higher as your group moves through the forest, and you can feel the weather warming up. The morning chill fades, and walking at a steady pace starts to warm you nicely beneath your leather clothes. You adjust your pouch and keep moving. About an hour into the expedition, Toma calls out from near the stream. His voice is unusually excited, meaning he's found something really good. You push through the bushes toward the sound, and what you see makes you smile. Wild honey on an ancient oak tree about 20 feet up. There's a dark hollow where a wild bee colony has made its home. You can see them buzzing in and out, and the sweet, unmistakable scent of honey drifts on the breeze. Honey is like hitting the jackpot. It's concentrated energy, pure sugar your body craves and burns efficiently. It keeps well without spoiling. It has healing properties and tastes amazing, especially when your usual diet is just meat, nuts, and whatever greens you can scavenge. But getting it is dangerous. The plan kicks off quickly. Toma is the best climber in the group and volunteers to go up. You'll build a fire at the tree base and create smoke to calm the bees. Others prepare containers for the honeycomb. Everyone else stands ready to run if things get ugly. Wild bees don't mess around. They fiercely guard their hive, and a swarm can be seriously deadly. People have died trying to harvest honey, but the reward is worth the risk. Things get ugly. Wild bees don't mess around. They fiercely defend their hives, and wild animals can turn downright deadly if you stumble on them in big numbers. People have died trying to get honey, but the rewards worth the risk. You gather dry wood and tinder while others search for the right green leaves to make. Thick smoke. The fire needs to produce a lot of smoke without flaming up too much. You want to calm the bees, not torch. The tree. The fire catches fast, and soon thick white smoke billows toward the bee tree. The buzzing fades as the smoke drifts to the hive entrance. Bees evolved thanks to forest fires, and smoke gets them buzzing. Trigger their honey cravings and get ready to bail. When they're busy stuffing their faces, they're way less likely to sting you. Toma strips off most of his clothes, giving fewer places for angry bees to latch on, and starts climbing. The guy's super nimble, scaling the rough bark like someone who's been climbing trees since they could walk. His hands and feet grip onto spots you can't even spot from down below. Watching him climb, you're reminded of your people's raw physical skills. No gym, no workout plans, just a lifetime of staying lean, fit, and flexible through sheer living. Toma moves like a modern rock climber, but he learned these moves as a kid because, well, his life depended on it. The smoke keeps curling up the tree, and the buzzing stays pretty chill. Good sign. Toma reaches the hive level and carefully slips his hand into the cavity. He's hunting for a honeycomb chunk he can snatch without wrecking the whole bee colony. His people know better than to take everything. Leave enough honey and bees, and they'll bounce back for next time. A few bees circle him, looking more confused than pissed off. Smoke's doing its job. Toma's arm disappears inside the tree, up to his elbow, his face tight with focus as he fumbles around the hive. Then his expression shifts to satisfaction. He's found a good comb. Slowly and carefully, he pulls his arm out. In his hand is a fist-sized chunk of honeycomb, golden, dripping with thick amber honey. Even from the ground, you can smell that sweet goodness. He tosses the comb down to eager hands waiting below, then reaches back in for more. 3 trips, 3 combs, and he figures it's time to quit. Take too much, and you kill the whole hive, just enough, and they'll recover and keep the honey flowing in the future. Toma climbs down with the same skill he climbed up, loosening up in the last few feet to land softly on the forest floor. A few scrapes on his hands and shoulders, but nothing serious. He's grinning ear to ear, proud of a job well done. The honeycomb looks stunning, the wax cells packed full of pure, dense honey that practically glows under the dappled forest light. You can't resist breaking off a small piece and popping it in your mouth. The sweetness spreads. Your tongue feels like it's tasting something no modern world sugar can match. This isn't processed sugar or corn syrup. This is pure honey, made by bees, from nectar of wildflowers, complex aroma, faint floral notes, and insanely sweet. Your body instantly responds with a rush of energy from natural sugars hitting your bloodstream. You close your eyes for a moment, savoring the flavor. Honey like this is probably the sweetest thing humans have enjoyed in tens of thousands of years. No chocolate, no candy, no fancy dessert, just this, and it's perfect. The honeycomb is carefully wrapped and packed into a leather box. This treasure will be shared with the whole group back at the cave. Kids get little pieces as treats, Adults use it to make other foods tastier. Some is saved for winter, when every calorie counts. Your crew keeps trekking through the forest, buzzing with energy from the successful honey haul. The sun climbs higher, and the forest is alive with birdsong echoing everywhere. Small critters rustle in the bushes, that constant subtle movement of a healthy ecosystem. You find yourself slipping into a meditative state as you hike this familiar land. Your feet know this ground. Your eyes automatically scan for useful plants, prey signs, or anything weird that screams danger. Your breathing falls into a steady rhythm, matching your pace. This is one of the calmest periods of Old Stone Age life, moving through the forest with your community, working together, using skills that connect you directly to nature. You close your eyes for a moment, savoring the taste. Honey like this is the sweetest thing humans have found. In tens of thousands of years, no chocolate, no candy, no fancy desserts, just this. And it's perfect. The hive is carefully wrapped and packed inside a leather pouch. This treasure will be shared with the whole group back at the cave. Kids get little pieces as treats. Adults use it to jazz up other foods. Some is saved for winter when every calorie counts. Your crew keeps trekking through the forest, buzzing with energy after scoring honey. The sun climbs higher and the forest hums with life. Birds sing from every corner. Little critters rustle in the bushes. The subtle, constant motion of a healthy ecosystem. You find yourself slipping into a meditative state as you hike through familiar land. Your feet know this ground. Your eyes automatically scan for useful plants, prey signs, anything unusual that might scream danger. Your breath falls into a steady rhythm that matches your pace. This is one of the most peaceful times in Old Stone Age life, moving through the forest with your community, working together, using skills that connect you directly to nature. No schedules, no deadlines, no fake stress, just the ancient beat of human life, syncing with the environment. Yeah, mostly harmony. Still plenty of ways to die here. Around midday, your group stops by a small stream to rest and eat. The water is clear and cold, flowing over smooth stones worn down over countless years. You cup your hands, take a long drink, tasting the pure minerals in water that's never been treated or funneled through pipes. Lunch is picking from what you've gathered so far: nuts, berries, a bit of leftover meat from earlier. You plop down on a fallen log by the stream, listening to the water babble while eating slow and deliberate. Food here tastes weirdly amazing by modern standards. The meat's tough and demands serious chewing. Nuts are tiny and sometimes bitter. Berries are sour and full of seeds. Nothing salted, spiced, or jazzed up to taste better. But your body knows this food, recognizes it, and handles it like a pro. And honestly, there's something deeply satisfying about eating stuff you gathered yourself, using wisdom passed down through generations. This meal is the product of hours of hard work and a deep understanding of the natural world. Every bite counts. As you chew, you notice how your body feels: strong, lean, and efficient. Your muscles are toned and healthy from all that constant physical activity. Your senses sharpen because you depend on them to survive. Your mind is calm but alert, constantly processing info about your surroundings. The human body was made for this, not for sitting on a chair 8 hours a day, not for eating junk food, not for living under artificial lights, moving through wild landscapes, eating what you gather, working with your crew to tackle daily survival challenges. After the meal, your group splits up to explore more spots. You team up with Denny, an older woman who knows more about medicinal plants than anyone else around. She's teaching you how to spot herbs that treat pain, infections, stomach issues, and other common ailments. You two stroll along the stream bank where useful plants grow in the lush, damp soil. Denny shows you willow bark, which you can chew to dull pain and bring down fevers. She points out wild mint growing in shady spots, perfect for stomach aches. You find reeds near the swamp by the stream's starchy roots you can roast or grind into flour. The knowledge Denny shares with you is the result of thousands of years of human trial and error with natural medicine. Your people don't have doctors, hospitals, or weapons. They have detailed know-how about which plants heal and which ones will mess you up. Some of this knowledge is impressively complex. No doctors, no hospitals, no weapons. They have detailed knowledge about which plants heal and which ones poison. Some of this wisdom is shockingly complex. Your people know how to use willow bark to ease pain. The active ingredient is basically what aspirin is today. They know which mushrooms have antibiotic properties. They understand how to use certain plants to induce labor during tough births or to prevent pregnancy when resources run low, but they also know herbal medicine has limits. Serious injuries usually end in death. Infections that modern antibiotics would wipe out easily were life-threatening back then. Giving birth was a dangerous gamble. Average lifespan, way shorter than today. That's how the afternoon went. Walking, searching, learning, gathering. Your bag gets heavier as you add more plants, roots, and useful stuff. The sun moves across the sky, and the forest light shifts from harsh midday glare to the warm, slanted rays of late afternoon. You're tired, not wiped out, but pleasantly worn from a day of non-stop physical hustle. Your legs feel every step you took. Your back knows the weight of your pack. Your hands are sticky with sap and dirt from digging in the forest floor, but you're also ridiculously satisfied. Today was a good day. Your group gathered enough food and materials to make this expedition worthwhile. Just the honey alone made it a win. But you also collected enough trees and nuts to make a meaningful contribution to tonight's dinner. As the sun starts to set, Denny calls everyone together to head back. Time to return to the cave. You don't want to get stuck in the woods after dark. Night belongs to the predators. The way back will be different from your morning route. Your people never take the same path twice if they can help it. Predictable trails make you an easy target and mean you miss chances to find new resources or spot changes in your territory. This path takes you through a coastal forest with giant old trees, their smooth gray bark rising like pillars to the canopy above. The ground is littered with fallen sea chestnuts, and your groups will spend some time gathering these fatty nuts, packing valuable calories. Eating seafood requires prep. They need to be shelled and have their bitter husks removed. But it's totally worth the effort, rich in fat and protein. They keep well and pack concentrated nutrition for the lean winter months. As you bend down to pick nuts from the forest floor, you notice how quiet everything has become. The usual bird and small animal sounds have disappeared. The forest feels expectant, waiting. Denny senses it too. She slowly straightens up, eyes scanning the trees around your group. Her hand casually moves to the stone knife at her belt, the universal signal that something's off. Everyone freezes. You listen, really listen, beyond the usual forest sounds, beyond the rustling leaves. There's something else, a rustle that doesn't match the rhythm of little creatures, something bigger, something moving deliberately through the bushes. Could be a deer, a moose, maybe a bear, or maybe people who aren't from your tribe. Denny makes a subtle hand gesture, meaning gather closer, stay, silent, ready to run. Your group slowly, carefully tightens into a tighter formation. No sudden moves, no noise, just controlled readiness. The rustling gets closer through the trees. You catch glimpses of movement, brown shapes moving between trunks, heading your way. Then you see antlers, moose, a small herd moving through the forest on their own afternoon journey. Huge animals, each bigger than 3 or 4 people combined. Beautiful, majestic, and definitely dangerous if they feel threatened. Your group stands perfectly still as the moose herd passes. 5 adults and 2 calves move with a rare mix of grace and raw power that big wild animals own. They're stunning, thick fur glistening in the late light. Those massive antlers could easily kill a person. Muscles rippling under their skin as they move. One grown-up stops about 30 feet from your group, locking eyes with you, exchanging a stare down with a wild moose. For a long moment, you and this ancient creature just stare across the gap between species. 2 different animals sharing the same forest, the same world. Then the moose decides you're no threat and keeps on walking. The herd fades into the woods as quietly as they appeared, leaving behind only a faint musk scent and the memory of that brief but intense connection. Your group relaxes. Denny grins ear to ear and fingers a lucky charm. Spotting a moose is always a good omen. They're symbols of strength and endurance, and a safe encounter is considered a blessing from the forest gods. You finish gathering chestnuts and press on toward home. The sun's definitely dipping now, and the forest light shifts to that golden late afternoon glow. Time to pick up the pace. The trail slopes upward as you near your territory. The cave sits high for good reason, better views, easier defense, and less flood risk during heavy rains. Your feet feel the incline, but it's that familiar burn you've walked 1,000 times before. As you crest the last hill before home, you catch the scent of wood smoke on a light breeze. The hunters must be back. Someone's built a fire, Fire means warmth, cooking, and a comfy hangout spot where your group gathers at day's end. You can even smell the grilled meat, yeah. Actually smell it. That rich, mouth-watering aroma makes your stomach grumble with excitement. Today, the hunters nailed it. Tonight's feast will have fresh meat plus everything your crew collected. The cave entrance comes into view, and you see folks moving around the fire. Kids play safely nearby. Adults are busy with all sorts of tasks, some prepping food, others making tools or clothes. It's the bustling, cozy vibe of a thriving community. You're almost home. Your body sighs relief after a safe day's work. Your pack's heavy with useful plants and nuts. Your knowledge has grown after a day learning from Denny. The forest has been generous today. As you near the cave, kids rush out to greet your group, eager to see what you found, hoping for berries or nuts to snack on. Their excitement is contagious, a reminder of the simple joy in sharing resources with your community. You ruffle the hair of Mira, a special 7-year-old girl who loves plants. She follows you everywhere on your gathering trips, always firing off questions about which plants are useful and why. Today, she wants the lowdown on everything in your collection bag. The switch from wild forest to cave feels sudden but cozy. Outside is vast, wild, full of possibilities and dangers. Inside, it's a controlled space, human territory, where your group gathers for safety, warmth, and shared meals. You settle into your favorite spot near the fire and start unpacking the day's haul. Each plant, nut, and root represents applied knowledge, skills used, and a successful dance with nature. These little victories add up to survival. Your shoulders relax as the day's tension melts away, the familiar warmth of the fire soothing your tired muscles from dawn till now. The fire welcomes you back with its cozy heat and flickering light. You can feel the warmth sinking into your weary muscles as you get closer, and there's something deeply comforting about returning to this controlled space after a long day in the vast, unpredictable forest. The hunters did really well today. Seriously, really well. Scattered around the fire pit are the remains of 2 deer, not huge beasts, but enough meat to feed the whole crew, with leftovers for tomorrow, like berries or seeds you can eat on the spot. Their excitement spreads, reminding you of the simple joy of sharing resources with your community. You ruffle Mira's hair, a special 7-year-old who loves plants more than anything. She follows you everywhere on gathering trips, non-stop asking which plants are useful and why. Today, she wants to know about everything in your collection bag. The switch from forest to cave feels sudden but cozy. Outside is vast, wild, full of possibilities and dangers. Inside is a controlled space, a human space where your group gathers for safety, warmth, and shared meals. You settle into your favorite spot by the fire and start unpacking the day's haul. Every plant, nut, and root represents applied knowledge, honed skills, and a successful dance with nature. Those small wins add up to survival. Your shoulders loosen as the day's tension melts away, and the familiar warmth of the fire starts soothing muscles that have been working since dawn. The fire welcomes you back with its cozy heat and dancing light. You feel the warmth seep into your tired muscles as you edge closer, and there's something incredibly comforting about returning to this controlled space after a long day in the vast, unpredictable forest. The light flickers. You feel the warmth seep into your tired muscles as you edge closer to the fire, and there's something incredibly comforting about returning to this controlled space after a long day in the vast, unpredictable forest. Today, the hunters did very well, seriously, very well. Scattered around the fire pit are 2 deer carcasses, not gigantic beasts, but enough meat to feed the whole clan, with leftovers for tomorrow. A successful hunt means tonight will be a feast, and these rare parties make the night feel truly special. Brune and the other hunters share their stories, while everyone else preps food. The tales flow easily, like old friends trading news. One starts the tale, another jumps in with extra details. The third corrects a tiny mistake or highlights a slick moment. They track the deer most of the morning, following barely visible signs through the thick forest. A broken branch here, a hoofprint in soft soil there, a faint scent trail only the most seasoned trackers could sniff out. Only the most experienced trackers can spot those signs. The chase demands patience, grit, and a kind of environmental know-how that takes decades to master. The actual kill happens fast. The hunters corner a small herd by the water, and Jorik nails a perfect spear throw, taking down a young buck with one clean stab. The second deer tries to bolt, but runs straight into spears held by 2 other hunters, blocking its escape route. Kill 'em quick, kill 'em clean, minimize animal suffering, and maximize protein for your crew. You listen to the hunting tale while unpacking the day's haul, sorting plants and seeds into piles depending on their use. Some will be dinner tonight. Others need prepping or processing. A few get stored for later use. The honeycomb you helped collect causes quite a stir when revealed. Kids cluster around, eyes glued to the golden treasure, while adults nod approvingly at Toma's climbing skills. Honey is always a hit, but finding this much in one spot, that's rare luck. Kesser handles wild garlic bulbs, cleaning and prepping them to flavor tonight's meat. The spicy, pungent aroma spreads around the campfire as she works, mingling with smoke and the rich scent of roasting venison. Food prep in the old Stone Age is both simple and sophisticated. Simple, because your tools are basic stone knives, wooden gear, and fire. Sophisticated, because people had thousands of years to figure out how to squeeze the most out of limited ingredients and cooking methods. Some venison chunks get skewered and grilled directly over the flames. Classic prehistoric cooking, surprisingly effective. Others get cooked in a more complex way, showing just how clever your people really are. Rana, one of your top chefs, has basically invented a Stone Age oven using heated rocks and a leaf-lined pit. Huge stones were tossed into the fire hours ago to get scorching hot. Now she's using wooden tongs to move the glowing rocks into a pit lined with fresh leaves. Then the venison wrapped in leaves goes on top. Another leaf layer covers the meat. Finally, the whole thing is buried in dirt to create a sealed cooking chamber. The meat slowly cooks evenly in steam and heat from those hot stones. Pretty slick, huh? No metal pots, no fancy ovens, just rocks, leaves, fire, and human ingenuity. The result tender, flavorful meat cooked thoroughly without burning or drying out. While the stone oven does its magic, others prep plant-based foods. Seeds get crushed between stones to extract their guts. Bitter roots are sliced and soaked to mellow the taste. Berries get sorted, the best saved for fresh eating. The mushy ones set aside for immediate munching. You jump in, cracking shells and picking out seeds in a smooth, rhythmic workflow. Let your mind wander while your hands stay busy. The crunch of grinding stones blends with crackling fire and quiet chatter around the cave. Your body feels good tired, worn out but satisfied. That kind of tired from a solid day of physical work, not modern burnout. Your muscles ache pleasantly, and the fire's warmth soothes and restores them. After a hard day, as the sun sinks outside the cave, light shifts from golden afternoon glow to warm, deeper evening hues. This kind of tired is from a day of satisfying physical work, not the soul-crushing stress of modern life. Your muscles ache in a good way, and the fire's warmth helps them relax and bounce back. After a hard day's work, as the sun slowly dips outside the cave, the light shifts from golden afternoon glow to a warmer, deeper evening hue. Inside the cave, the firelight pops even more, casting dancing shadows on the stone walls, creating that cozy end-of-day vibe everyone loves. Kids have been playing and helping out all afternoon, but now they're starting to wear out. The littlest ones stick closer to their moms, running less and sitting quietly by the fire. Day turns to night naturally, no clocks or just the rhythm of light, shadow, and human energy. The first roasted meat is ready. Jorek uses a stone knife to slice thin pieces off a roasted chicken leg, checking the doneness. The meat is perfectly cooked, piping hot, yet still juicy with a faint, smoky flavor from the wood fire. He offers the first bite to Senna, the eldest member of the group. Following tradition, she chews thoughtfully, nods approvingly, and signals the meal can begin. This isn't some free-for-all feast, like modern folks might imagine. There are customs, hierarchies, and systems to keep social peace and make sure everyone gets fed. The meal moves slow and easy. People eat comfortably, chatting and telling stories. Kids get the prime cuts with a bit of precious honey on the side. Adults share everything evenly, especially looking out for pregnant or nursing moms who need the extra nutrition. You get your portion of venison, a big chunk marinated in wild garlic and cooked to perfection. Venison is rich and tasty in a way farmed deer meat rarely matches. Wild game has a different texture, a more complex flavor, and higher nutrients thanks to animals living active lives out in the wild. Fat is especially prized. Modern humans tend to avoid fat, but in the Stone Age world, fat is pure concentrated energy your body craves and desperately needs. The layer of fat under the deer's skin, marrow in the bones. Nutrient-rich fat Around organs all treasured and eagerly consumed, you eat slowly, savoring every bite. Venison brings instant satisfaction to your hunger, but it also means safety. A successful hunt means your crew won't go hungry tomorrow. The leftovers get processed and preserved, stretching today's victory well into the future. As you chew, you notice how quiet the caves become. Not dead silent, there's still the fire crackling, soft munching sounds, occasional low voices, but today's frantic energy has calmed, turning peaceful and reflective. This is one of the calmest moments in Stone Age life. The day's work is done, food's found, prepared, and shared. Everyone's safe inside. The cave with a warm fire and full bellies. These safe, comfy moments are rare and precious. You shift a bit, settling in more comfortably against the stone wall for back support. The fire's warm glow soothes your face and hands, and your stomach is full of meat, fatty nuts, and a sweet hint of honey. The stone oven is opened for the second dish. Rana carefully brushes away layers of dirt and leaves to reveal deer meat slow-cooked for hours. Steam rises from the pit, carrying a smell that makes everyone lean forward in anticipation. The meat is unbelievably tender, melting the moment it touches the wooden tool. It's gently and evenly cooked, soaking up the flavor of the wrapping leaves and smoky hot stones. This is sophisticated Stone Age cooking. Everyone gets a portion of the stew, and the difference in texture and taste versus roasted meat is mind-blowing. Your people get that food variety isn't just about flavor. Different cooking methods preserve different nutrients and make various parts of food easier to digest. While everyone enjoys the second dish, the remaining raw meat is being prepared for preservation. Some will be sliced into thin strips and hung near the fire to dry into jerky. Others will be used for fat extraction, which can be used as waterproofing and to preserve other foods. Nothing goes to waste. Bones will be smashed tomorrow to get nutritious marrow. Skins are prepared for tanning. Horns will be saved for sewing thread. Bones will be smashed tomorrow to get the nutritious marrow. The hides have been prepped to make leather. Horns are saved for sewing thread. Horns and bones become tools. Even hooves have their uses. A successful hunt gives away more than just meat. As the meal goes on, the cave's atmosphere gets more relaxed and social. This is the moment stories get retold, knowledge passed down, and the bonds within the group get strengthened and grow. Old Senna, the eldest woman in the group, starts a story everyone's heard before, but no one minds hearing again. It's about a brutal winter when she was young. The snow piled so high, hunting was impossible for weeks, and the group survived on stored food and gathering supplies kept in secret stashes. The story serves many purposes, obviously entertainment, but also education. Senna's schooling the younger ones on resource management, prepping for hard times, and why planning ahead matters. Survival tips wrapped up as entertainment. You lean against the cave wall, letting Senna's familiar rhythm of voice wash over you. These oral traditions are how your people keep and pass down knowledge through generations. No writing, no books, no external record keeping, just human memory and ancient storytelling art. The fire burns low as night falls, but someone occasionally throws on more wood to keep it alive. The light softens, gets more intimate, creating a warm and safe cocoon amid the vast darkness outside the cave. The kids start getting sleepy. The youngest are laid on grass mats, wrapped in soft furs and placed close enough to the fire for warmth, but safely distant. Their mothers hum lullabies while nursing, or just holding them tight. Older kids get to stay up longer, but they're clearly worn out. They sit quietly by the fire, listening to the adults' talks, nodding off against their parents' shoulders before being gently nudged awake to stay up a bit more. You feel your energy switch to evening mode. The urgency and alertness needed for daytime survival in the wild give way to something calmer, more reflective. Your breathing slows naturally as your body senses the shift from active day to quiet night. Someone starts working on tools for tomorrow. Napping by the fire isn't ideal, but simple maintenance jobs get done by flickering light. The rhythmic sound of stone on stone adds to the peaceful vibe, a gentle percussion tune signaling care and prep for survival gear. Women mend clothes with bone needles and sinew thread, too, patch small tears in their leather garments. It's a delicate job requiring skill and good hand-eye coordination. But an old tailor with some serious skills, can fix basic stuff, even in the dimmest light. The clothes everyone's wearing, they represent hundreds of hours of work, and taking care of them properly, absolutely essential. Evening social life is a whole different vibe from the daytime hustle. People sit closer together. Conversations get quieter, more intimate. Bodies touch more. Kids lean on their parents. Adults sit shoulder to shoulder. Those little touches, they're all about bonding. You can see how the fire tweaks everyone's behavior. Folks lean in toward it not just for warmth, but because it's the social hotspot. The fire is the community's beating heart, the day's grand finale gathering point. It's been that way for hundreds of thousands of years. When night falls, some start prepping for bed. Sleeping spots get arranged in a rough circle around the fire pit. Families group together, and the most vulnerable kids and elders placed closest to the warmth and light. Your sleeping spot's ready after this morning's quick cleanup. The grass mat's been shaken out and straightened, the fur blanket dried and placed in the warmest spot. Everything's set for another night on the cave's stone floor, but sleep's still a ways off. Evening activities keep moving at a chill pace as people wrap up their tasks and wind down the day. Some work on personal projects, carving wooden tools, prepping plant materials for later use, tidying up their gear. The cave itself seems to exhale as the day ends. The stone walls, which soaked up heat from the fire during the day, slowly release it back into the air. The temperature stays comfy despite the cool air outside. The cave's natural insulation keeps things fairly stable year-round. You stretch your legs and adjust your spot by the fire. Your muscles relax and you feel cozy and full after a day of moving around. adding to that overall happy vibe. This is the Stone Age version of satisfaction, basic needs met, community safe and together. Another day successfully behind you. The evening wind outside the cave adds a subtle soundtrack to indoor activities, a reminder that the outside world and your little fire circle keep their ancient rhythm going. But in this protected space, your people have created a warm, safe bubble. Kids' voices grow softer as they drift into the night's gentle energy. The tiniest ones sleep on mats, their small bodies relaxed and peaceful under soft fur. Watching kids sleep always gives adults a sense of satisfaction. Another generation successfully shielded through another day. Someone will tend the fire overnight, arranging logs so it burns slow and steady. Without constant babysitting, the flames will die down to a manageable glow, but the embers stay hot and can be rekindled if needed. Fire management is a crucial skill to keep warmth and safety all night long. The transition to sleep happens gradually, naturally. People finish up their evening chores and start moving to their resting spots. Conversations shrink and break up. Energy levels drop in the cave as everyone gets ready to crash. You feel the day's tension melt away as you settle into rest. Your breathing deepens naturally, and a comfy yawn slips out as your body shifts into night mode. As the fire slows to its nighttime rhythm, your crew kicks off evening activities that set humans apart from every other critter on Earth. This is where the real magic happens, when survival turns into culture, when just existing becomes something deeper and more meaningful. Yorick pulls out a carefully crafted piece of deer antler he's been working on for days, paired with a sharp stone designed for carving by firelight. As your body starts shifting toward the coming night, when the fire slows into its nighttime rhythm, your band kicks off evening activities that set humans apart from every other animal on Earth. This is where the real magic happens. When survival evolves into culture, when basic existence becomes something deeper and meaningful. Yorick pulls out a piece of deer antler he's been painstakingly crafting for days, along with a sharp stone designed to carve by firelight. He carefully continues the process to create what will later become a spear thrower, a tool that dramatically boosts how far and hard spears can be thrown. The carving requires insane precision. Every cut has to be done just right to keep the tool balanced and working. Cut away too much in the wrong spot, and weeks of effort go down the drain. Too little, and the tool just won't do its job. Yorick works with the laser focus of someone who knows his life literally depends on the quality of his gear. You watch him work and can't help but admire his skills. That spear thrower he's crafting, oh, it's basically thousands of years of tech evolution in one piece of wood. Early humans figured out that a lever-like device could multiply the power of a spear throw, letting hunters take down bigger prey from farther away. This innovation straight up changed human evolution. The tool looks simple enough, a carved antler with a hook on one end to hold the spear and a handle on the other. But physics? Yeah, it's complicated. Length, balance point, and flex all have to be just right for it to work well. Jorik didn't learn this from math formulas, but from years of trial and error passed down by master craftsmen nearby. Kesser is working on a different kind of tech plant processing. She's grinding wild grass seeds between two stones, turning them into rough flour that can be mixed with water to make simple bread or porridge. It's hard, time-consuming work, but unlocks nutrients that you just can't digest otherwise. The grinding stones she uses are carefully chosen. The bottom one's big and flat with a slightly rough surface. The top one is smaller, shaped to fit her hand while applying max grinding pressure. Both stones are shaped after hours of careful sculpting, showing serious time and skill investment. The rhythmic sound of grinding is probably one of humanity's oldest industrial noises. This basic tech of crushing seeds evolved into water mills, windmills, and modern grain processing. But here, in this cave, it's just Kesser's strong hands and patience turning weeds into food. The flour she gets is coarse and dark, nothing like modern white flour, but it's nutritious and filling, providing extra carbs to go with the protein from hunting and vitamins from gathered plants. Mix it with water and bake it on a hot stone near the fire, and you get a simple flatbread that boosts the nutritional value of other foods. You shift your position, getting comfy as you watch evening activities unfold around the fire. Everyone pitches in, each task vital to the survival and happiness of the group. No free time like we think of it, but also no clear line between work and life. Everything blends into one unified Stone Age vibe. The old lady Senna has finished her story and now switches gears to hands-on teaching about medicinal plants. She's working with some young women, including first-time moms. The stuff she's sharing could literally save lives. She shows them how to brew willow bark tea to ease pain and reduce fever. The bark has to be harvested at just the right time of year from trees of the right age, then prepared in specific ways to get the most out of it. Too little, no effect. Too much bitter and nasty to swallow. The lesson covers details on dosages, how much tea kids versus adults should have, how often to drink it, other symptoms to watch for, when not to use willow bark, and when to try other treatments instead. It's complex medical knowledge passed down carefully by word of mouth. Senna also teaches about plants that help with childbirth, herbs that ease labor pain, ones that stop dangerous bleeding, and plants that boost milk production in nursing moms. This knowledge is crucial for survival in a world without modern health care. It gets bitter and basically impossible to swallow. The lessons cover the nitty-gritty on dosages, how much tea kids should get versus adults, how often to drink it, other symptoms to watch for, when to avoid willow bark altogether, and when to try other treatments instead. This is complex medical knowledge passed down carefully through oral tradition. Senna also teaches about plants that help with childbirth, herbs that ease labor pains, others that stop dangerous bleeding, and plants that boost milk supply in breastfeeding moms. This info is literally life-saving in a world with zero modern health care. Young women listen closely, ask questions, and practice identifying plants by examining Senna's carefully bundled dried samples. They know mastering. This knowledge could mean the difference between losing a child and raising the next generation successfully. As the lessons go on, you'll be amazed at how much people carry in their heads. No books, no filing system, no Googling when you forget. Everything's gotta be memorized, practiced, and passed down through direct teaching and hands-on experience. The human brain evolved to handle exactly this kind of info. Your people have crazy good memories for the survival important details. They can recall where seasonal food sources are, the behavior of dozens of animal species, the traits of hundreds of plants, and the tangled social ties across generations. Modern humans often feel like their memories suck, but that's because modern life demands you remember stuff like passwords, phone numbers, and random info that won't save your life. Using that same brain to handle life or death info, now that's impressive. Kids not quite ready to hit the sack gather around Brune for a different kind of lesson. He's showing them how to make rope, a sturdy rope twisted from plant fibers that's got like a dozen uses back in the Stone Age. This is basic tech every grown-up needs to master. It starts by collecting the right kinds of plant fibers. Some plants naturally produce strong, flexible fibers. Others need processing to break down the plant material and reveal the useful strands. Brune demonstrates a technique using dried grass gathered earlier in the season. First, the plant material is smashed with stones to break apart the woody parts and separate the fibers. Then the fibers are sorted by length and quality. The longest, strongest fibers become the core of the rope. Shorter bits get used for less important stuff or twisted together to bulk up the rope. The actual rope making involves rolling the strands around your leg while keeping steady tension and adding new material as needed. Surprisingly, this is really hard to do well, too loose, and the rope's weak, too tight, and it gets stiff and brittle. The kids practice the basic moves while Brune tweaks their technique. The finished rope is strong enough to lash a spearhead to a shaft, set small traps, secure heavy loads for carrying, and dozens of other essential jobs. A group without good rope-making skills is basically a group missing some of the most basic survival tools. You watch the kids practice, remembering your own early rope attempts. Like most Stone Age skills, it looks simple, but takes loads of practice to get good at. The kids' first tries are clumsy and uneven, but they're learning the core techniques they'll refine over years of practice. The fire burns steadily as these evening activities continue. The flickering light dances and plays, casting ever-shifting shadows on the cave walls. Sometimes you catch glimpses of cave paintings your people have created over generations, images of animals, handprints, and abstract symbols show humanity's need to create and communicate through visual art. These paintings aren't just decoration. They play a crucial role in your culture. Some depict hunting scenes that teach young hunters about animal behavior and tactics. Others mark important events or seasonal celebrations. Some seem tied to spiritual beliefs, about the bond between humans and animals. Creating these paintings takes serious skill and effort. Pigments come from natural materials: ochre for reds and yellows, charcoal for black, clay for white, and browns. These materials must be ground finely and mixed with binders like animal fat or tree resin to make paint that sticks to rock walls. Artists used various techniques to create the images. Handprints were made by placing a hand on the wall and blowing pigment around it through hollow reeds or bones. Animal figures were painted with brushes made from animal hair attached to wooden handles. Some images were made by carving lines, painted with brushes made from animal hair tied to wooden handles. Some images were made by carving lines into the stone surface with sharp stone tools. The placement of these paintings isn't random. Many are in parts of the cave where sound echoes in cool ways. The people knew the cave was like a giant musical instrument, and they placed their art to take advantage of the natural sound effects during special ceremonies. Singers and musicians would perform in these acoustic hotspots. Musicians stand near these painted spots and make music echo through the cave in some seriously impressive ways. The blend of visual art, sound effects, and live music creates a vivid experience that connects you with their cultural traditions and spiritual beliefs. Tonight isn't a special night, but you can still feel the ancestors watching from the cave walls. These images remind you that your people lived here, huddled around fires just like this. For generations, you're part of a long chain of survival and cultural passing that stretches way back into the distant past. Evening activities wind down as everyone finishes their projects and starts seriously prepping for sleep. Tools get cleaned and put away properly. Clothes are organized for easy grabs in the morning. Personal stuff is stashed safely. The social vibe in the cave shifts as bedtime approaches. Conversations get quieter and more intimate. People physically cozy up to share warmth and comfort. Kids playing solo come back to their parents for that safe, snug family feel you help get. The fire ready for tonight. This job takes skill. The fire has to burn slow and steady all night without going out, but also not flare up dangerously near the sleepers. Big logs are placed to burn slow and provide long-lasting heat. Smaller sticks are arranged to catch fire gradually as the big logs burn down. The whole setup is carefully designed to give hours of warmth and light without needing constant babysitting. Someone's on fire watch duty overnight. No need to stay awake the whole time, but check in regularly and toss on more fuel if needed. Fire watch duty rotates among the adults and is considered one of the most important jobs in the group. When the fire settles into its nighttime shape, the cave light softens and mellows out. The dramatic dancing flames of evening give way to the steady glow of embers. The mood grows calm and reflective. People start moving toward sleeping areas, saying goodnight and wrapping up the final steps before rest. Kids lie down on grassy mats with warm fur coats pulled up to their chins. Adults arrange their sleeping spots for warmth and comfort. The sleeping layout reflects your group's social structure. Family units cluster together, with kids nestled between parents for maximum protection and warmth. Adults sleep solo near the edges of the group, but still inside the circle of light and safety. Your sleeping spot is set up so you can easily grasp your gear and weapons if needed at night. Your spears within arm's reach, along with your stone knife and other essentials. Even asleep, you're ready for trouble. The grassy mat under your fur bedding is arranged to provide maximum cushioning against the hard stone floor. Layers of dry grass and moss add a barrier between you and the cold rock. By modern standards, it's not exactly cozy, but it's the best sleeping surface available in the old Stone Age world. You lie down on the mat and pull your sleeping skin around you. The animal hide, worn soft and warm after years of use, brings a comforting sense of home and life. These pelts represent successful hunts, skillful preparation, and the warmth built up over many nights of sleep. Sounds in the cave gradually fade as everyone drifts off. Conversations quiet down to whispers, then silence. The only noises are the crackling fire, the occasional shift in position, and the slow, deep breathing of people relaxing. Outside, conversations slowly turn to whispers and then silence. The only sounds are crackling fire, someone shifting position now and then, and the slow, deep breaths of people relaxing. Outside, the cave, the night world buzzes with different sounds. Owls hoot from the forest, wolves howl in the distance, animals rustle through the bushes, but inside the cave, protected by fire and stone walls, with the band right there, those outside sounds seem far away and not scary at all. You feel your body start to relax as you recognize that familiar shift into sleep. Your muscles, which worked hard all day, begin to let go of the tension. Your breathing naturally slows down and deepens. The warmth from the fire and animal pelts wraps you up in a cozy little cocoon. That's the end of another successful day in the old Stone Age. Food found and shared, tools maintained and improved, knowledge passed down to the next generation. Everyone survives to see another night. These simple wins are the basic victories of human existence. The fire keeps burning steady, casting a warm glow on the scattered sleeping shapes across the cave. The flickering light dances on painted walls where your ancestors left their marks, connecting tonight to countless other nights when humans huddled by the fire for warmth, safety, and friendship. Your breathing evens out as you feel more comfortable on the grassy mat. Your body naturally finds the perfect position to rest. The day's adventures turn into fond memories as the peaceful warmth of the cave envelops you, accompanied by the gentle sounds of the sleeping community, creating the perfect backdrop for whatever dreams might come in this timeless ancient place, where humans always find safety and peace. Night falls slowly around your cave, and the outside world quiets down to the ancient rhythm that has ruled this planet for millions of years. Inside the cave, your band sleeps peacefully around the dying embers, each one wrapped in the security of community and comfort after a hard day. But as you lie on the grass, listening to the soft breaths of everyone and feeling the warm weight of animal fur on your skin, something remarkable begins to happen. The line between past and present starts to blur. The 25,000 years separating the old Stone Age world and your modern life seem to fit into one long, slow breath. Because here's a truth. Most people don't really get you are. Them, your DNA, basic brain structure, and fundamental physical and emotional needs are almost identical to the cave dwellers we've been exploring together. The human genome hasn't changed much in 40,000 years. You're basically running Stone Age software in a Space Age world. Those old Stone Age folks weren't primitive ancestors bumbling around a harsh world with limited smarts. They were people, just like you, capable of love, creativity, and complex thought. They laughed at jokes. They mourned the dead. They told stories by the fire, worried about their kids, loved deeply, and marveled at the beauty of the natural world. The main difference between them and you isn't intelligence, emotions, or basic human nature. It's technology. They lived in a world with no farming, no cities, no writing, no accumulated knowledge handed down from thousands of generations of cultural development. But they had something you lost: a close, direct connection to the natural world that modern humans can barely imagine. They had profound, complete knowledge of their environment, enough to survive and thrive using only what Earth provided. Social bonds were strengthened through shared struggle and mutual reliance for survival. They knew every plant in their territory, every animal track, every weather change. They could make fire from simple stuff, craft tools from stone and wood, read the landscape like a book written in a language they understood perfectly. They lived fully within their means, caring only what was necessary and leaving as light a footprint on Earth as possible. And they had time, not the modern free time, but a deeper kind of time. They had time to notice everything, to develop skills, to sit around the fire telling stories and pondering the meaning of existence. They weren't rushing to meetings, checking emails, or managing complicated schedules that make every moment feel artificially urgent. Your breath slows as you reflect on the connection between the past and now. The fire in the cave flickers low. The light softens like a dream. The band's sound slowly fades into a gentle background beat, syncing up with your slow heartbeat. Those ancient folks faced real problems that modern tech mostly sorted out. They dealt with hunger, cold, sickness, injuries, and death in ways we'd probably freak out over today. Giving birth, super risky. A simple infection could kill you. Winter was always looming like a villain. Life expectancy way shorter. But they didn't wrestle with the mental stress we do now. No worries about careers, money, social media, or global politics. No depression from feeling disconnected from nature or community. No chronic diseases caused by processed food and couch potato lifestyles. Their problems were urgent and physical, but also fixable through direct action and community teamwork. Ironically, your Stone Age ancestors might have been happier than modern humans in many ways. Their basic needs, food, shelter, safety, social bonds, were either met or clearly unmet. No ambiguity, no existential crisis about purpose or meaning. The whole point, survival. Community was meaning. They didn't suffer from the weird modern disease of having all their material needs met, but still feeling spiritually empty. They often didn't have enough food to eat regularly, but they never asked why. They were alive or what their purpose was. Purpose was just to live another day, help everyone survive, pass on knowledge to the next generation. Your muscles relax deeper as these thoughts flow through your mind like a gentle stream. The grass beneath you feels softer, comfier now. The animal fur wraps perfectly around your body, like a warm shell reminding you of the coziest bed you've ever slept in. Modern humans often daydream about simpler times, but Stone Age life wasn't simple. It was direct. Every action had clear consequences. Every skill had a clear purpose. Every day brought challenges to overcome with knowledge, strength, cooperation, and skill. No built-in complexity, no bureaucratic nonsense, no abstract problems that couldn't be solved by straight-up interacting with the physical world. Social structure was complex but straightforward. Everyone knew their role and responsibilities. Kids learned by watching and slowly joining adult activities. Elders were respected for their knowledge and experience. Those who couldn't fully contribute were still cared for by the community. Social issues were settled through direct talk, not courts or institutional red tape, and they had something modern humans crave desperately: real connection to something bigger than themselves, not some vague spiritual belief, but a daily, practical bond with the natural world. They were part of the ecosystem, not separate from it. Their survival depended on understanding and respecting nature's rhythms. The fire in the cave now burns low, just embers pulsing like a slow, steady heartbeat. The light is dim and warm, casting a soft, cozy shadow over everything. The animals painted on the cave walls seem alive in the flickering light, their eyes watching the sleeping humans with ancient wisdom. You can feel your eyelids growing heavy as you sink deeper into these thoughts. Your body senses sleep approaching, and all your muscles start to let go of tension. The shift from awake to rest happens as naturally as breathing. Stone Age people experienced this transition every night. No electric lights disrupting their circadian rhythm. No screens overstimulating their brains before bed. No caffeine or processed junk messing with natural sleep. When night fell, they slept. When dawn came, they avoid processed foods that mess with natural sleep. When night falls, they sleep. When dawn comes, they wake up simply, naturally, and healthy. Their sleep is probably deeper and more restorative than anything modern people usually get. Physical exhaustion from a full day, combined with the safety of community and the cozy familiarity of their cave home, creates perfect conditions for deep rest and dreaming. Imagine dreaming with a brain not scrambled by artificial stimuli and abstract worries. Dreams packed with real-life daytime adventures, tracking animals through forests, gathering plants, working with stone and wood, sitting by the fire with your favorite people. These dreams come straight from hands-on experiences with the physical world, not the virtual overload of modern consciousness. Your breathing slows, deepens, steadying as you slip into sleep, just like your ancestors did. The modern world, with all its noise, fades away, leaving only the essential rhythm of human existence, the warmth of the fire, the safety of the tribe, the comfort of a secure place to crash. But here's the kicker. Those Stone Age folks laid the groundwork for everything that came after. Their inventions: fire, tools, language, art, social cooperation sparked the agricultural revolution, the rise of cities, the tech advances, and the modern world you're lounging in right now. They figured out how to be human, how to survive not just solo but as a community, how to pass down knowledge from one generation to the next, how to create beauty and meaning amid the struggle, how to love, laugh, and dream even when life was uncertain and often downright dangerous. Their stoneworking skills evolved into metallurgy, then engineering, and eventually the tech that launched satellites into space. Their plant knowledge became agriculture, then the food systems feeding billions. The social structures they built became the foundation for all of human civilization. Your mind eases as these connections start clicking into place. Past and present blend into one continuous flow of human experience stretching across thousands of generations. You're the descendant of cave dwellers carrying their DNA, basic brain wiring, survival skills, creativity, and fundamental love. The fire in the cave dims, leaving only glowing embers casting a soft light. Darkness wraps around you, cozy as the softest blanket you can imagine. Your eyelids get heavier. Opening them feels like a chore you'd rather skip. The Stone Age world still lingers beneath all the layers of modern civilization. In your DNA, in your dreams, in the deep brain structures that respond to fire, community, and the natural rhythm of day and night. You can tap into it whenever you need a reminder of the real meaning of being human when modern life overwhelms you. Remember those cave people facing real danger with courage and smarts. When you feel disconnected, recall the deep bonds that held their communities tight. When you feel pointless, remember your ancestors found meaning in simple survival acts and the love they showed their tribe. You're stronger than you think, smarter than you know, more connected to nature than modern life lets you realize. You carry the wisdom built over millions of years of human evolution, survival skills, and emotional resilience that let your species thrive in conditions that would scare most modern folks. Your breath slows to match that ancient rest rhythm. Your body feels heavy and peaceful on a soft grass bed. Animal furs around you seem to hum with warmth, and the gentle sounds of the sleeping cave community fade slowly into your consciousness. The line between sleep and wakefulness blurs until it doesn't matter anymore. You're safe, you're warm, you're part of a story still unfolding, stretching from the first humans who tamed fire to this very moment. Lying comfy in your own bed, from the first humans learning to control fire all the way to you lying on your comfy bed right now, connecting across a huge time gap to grasp what being human really means. Cave dwellers would be utterly shocked by the world their descendants built. Cities with millions of people, flying machines in the sky, devices that let you instantly talk to someone on the other side of the planet. Medical knowledge that cures diseases they couldn't even imagine. Food abundance and comfort that must seem like magic to those who had to. Struggling just to survive every single day, but they'd also instantly recognize you as one of their own. The same hopes and fears, the same capacity to love and create, the same need for community, purpose, and connection to something bigger than yourself. The core of humanity hasn't changed, even through millennia of shifts and progress. Now, your eyes close naturally, and staying awake feels like trying to swim upstream in a gentle current you just can't fight. The cave around you blurs into a dreamlike haze, and images of your Paleolithic kin blend seamlessly with all the loved ones in your modern life. Time stretches and contracts like slow, deep breaths 25,000 years ago. Today, tomorrow, just different beats in the same ongoing story of human experience. You're connected to it all. Cave dwellers learning to make fire, farmers inventing agriculture, builders creating cities, scientists unlocking the secrets of the universe. But tonight, in this peaceful moment between sleep and wakefulness, you remember the beginning, the moment when humans first huddled around a fire for warmth, safety, and stories, when survival depended on cooperation, knowledge, and the deep understanding that we're all part of one big human family. Your breath slows and deepens so much, each inhale seems to stretch forever. The fire's warmth, the softness of animal fur, the safety of the cave, the presence of a sleeping community all blend into a perfect feeling of peace and belonging. And as your consciousness gently slips from the here and now, you carry with you the knowledge that you're part of something ancient, enduring, and beautiful. You are human. You are connected. You are home. The cave grows quiet except for soft breathing. The fire burns down to glowing embers, still bright, still warm, still lighting the way for humanity through darkness for hundreds of thousands of years. And you sleep deeply, naturally, restored, connected to every person who ever lived, loved, dreamed of a better tomorrow for their children and their children's children. Sleep now, rest easy, knowing you are the human you were meant to be, carrying the best parts of human nature into whatever future awaits. Sleep with the wisdom of ancestors and the hopes of generations to come. Close your eyes tight one last time tonight. Let your breath slow down to the rhythm of ancient rest. Let yourself drift along the current of dreams that have carried humanity through countless nights just like this. Sleep deep, sleep well, Sleep with the confidence that you're part of the greatest story ever told. The story of human survival, human creativity, human love, timeless and connecting every heart that ever beat around a fire in the dark. Now rest, modern cave dweller, rest well.